Joanne made one mistake. She said that she raised 4 kids. Well, actually, she raised 5, because when I was getting ready to go into my junior year in school here, my dad got a job at Halstead. And I didn't want to leave. I wanted to graduate here. So not much time, but a little time went by, and her mother asked me if I'd like to come out there and stay. And I'd always wanted to be on a farm. And so she nurtured 5 people because I went my junior and senior year there, and I'd asked her mother, Nellie, what it would cost me to stay there. I couldn't have made a down payment on a hamburger. She says it won't cost you anything to stay here, but if you choose not to live like we did, she says you can get out on that highway out here in front and walk right back to Sedgwick the way you got out here. Anyhow, I didn't realize that. I went she booted me out a little bit, when I graduated. When I got my diploma, I wouldn't do anything she wanted to, she wanted me to be in at a certain time and this and that, and I didn't want to do it, so she booted me out like she said she would. While I was booted out, she caught a good fish, and I took it over to them, and they were gone. But the refrigerator was on the back porch, so I just put this fish in there. And she called me up a little bit later and wanted to know if I wanted to come back. And so, yeah. But I just wait for every weekend for her to come home and play the piano so we could sing. So, but the thing of it is, when they saw that fish, they thought I still liked them, and they called me back, and she hasn't gotten rid of me yet.
You're a lucky man.
He came back and stayed until he went in the Army.
Yeah, and came back, but anything good I am, why? It's partly her fault.
So what can you tell me about your time in the Army?
Well, I was very fortunate. In the first place, went to Washington to go overseas. Had my basic and went over there, and there were 7 of us that the boat wouldn't hold. So they put us on an airplane with a bunch of officers, and which treated us very, very good. But anyhow, I hated an airplane. I didn't want to get my feet off of the ground, and I was right by the wings, And I was right with this wing, and it was going just like this, and I started singing, "Our Father who art in heaven." I knew the dadgum thing's going to just break off any minute. But it got us over there, and went over and got settled. And I'd had 24 weeks training of military, in infantry. Well, when I got over there, they were short of artillery people. So they took me out of infantry that they'd give me 24 anyhow. But what was the nice thing was that when I was in basic, they were having those peace talks at Panmunjom, and so they quit fighting. And I got over there in October, and they had quit fighting in July. And so I'm very fortunate.
Yeah.
And so.
Well, tell them what you did while you were there.
What did I do?
Well, you told me that you ran a post office.
Well, yes, you know, I got friends with the guy that was the secretary of the head guy. Okay, and every Sunday we went to chapel, and we got to singing together. And wasn't too long, the guy that was the mail clerk, one of the best jobs in the Army, he rotated out. Well, the head man called me in one day and he asked me if I'd wanted that job, and I know it was because of Jack Ray of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, that was the reason I got it. And so for the rest of my time in there, I was very fortunate. So one of the highlights of it was that I'd had to go down to a higher place to get the mail. Mm-hmm. And when I'd come back, it was usually a time when these little Korean kids were walking home from school. And one day I got the idea, I bought a whole pack of vanilla ice cream and a whole handful of spoons. And I stopped, and they were a little bit reluctant, you know, but I got the ice cream out. I took a bite of it, and then I would set this one for them, and the look on their face when they wondered about it. Boy, they got the taste, and their faces just smiled, you know. But to do that with those little kids was one of my big things.
Yeah. But
then later on, I went and I come back to Sedgwick. So, and I told myself I ain't gonna marry a girl that can't play the piano, because my life revolved around music. And so I go to church one morning and went up to the choir and looked out there, and there was this lady, a pretty nice looking lady, out there that I hadn't seen before, you know, but I knew she was taken because there was a little girl with her 1 year old. Well, I still looked a little, but I still was interested, you know. But anyhow, found out that when she was 5 months into her terminal with Terry, her husband ran off with another guy. And she had come there that morning on the piano, accompany one of our church girls that was going to sing. Now, how could that have been a better setup? And after 60 good years. So.
Looks like it worked out well then.
Yep.
So Charlie, you strike me as kind of a bit of a clown, a bit of a goofy guy sometimes.
Well, goofy, I'll buy that.
What's a time that your actions kind of made you get in some trouble that you maybe shouldn't have been in?
How bad a trouble?
I mean, however much you're willing to share, we're on camera. Keep that in mind. So maybe just the legal stuff.
Well, let's see. Gosh, I ought to be able to just pick it out of the air, you know, but I'm having a little trouble.
Tell him about you walking upstairs, being so quiet at night.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Out too
Her
late.
her mother thought I ought to toe the line. Well, if I'd come in too late, I'd sneak it up. And one night she said, "You don't need to try and toe tap up here. I hear you." Well, then after that, I didn't care how much noise I made going up. And next morning she says, "I wished you'd be a little more quiet when you come in. You make so darn much noise." But boy, what they did for me.
Any final words you want to say to anybody watching? Just anything you want
Oh,
the world to know.
well, I just tell them how fortunate I've been since my dad and I come in.
Well, thank you.